Hey guys, welcome to my channel. So hereafter I'm going to put videos on like machine learning, data science, data engineering into this playlist. So my first video, this is my first video. So I'm going to teach the very fundamentals about the machine learning concept, which very rarely spoken to the YouTube community or other online courses you may find out. So the information I'm going to provide is actually rare because I'm going to teach you how in the real world applications, real world applications actually building the machine learning projects. Okay, and various steps involved in building the models. And also I'm going to provide you the framework for the machine learning building purpose. Okay, so while I'm saying the framework, you can actually the framework approach is you can able to use it in your future machine learning proof of concept projects like this. Okay, because the framework is nothing but there are various steps we need to keep maintain to build the machine learning models. Okay, so if you are providing with this framework thing, then you are very good to go. Okay, so I'm going to teach you the various approaches. The first we'll clear up some definition of the machine learning projects. Okay. The definition means because there are various buzzwords we can in the machine learning world or data science world we can able to use the various buzzwords so I'm going to first of all I'll clear up some the definition, then we are going into the depth of the machine learning and artificial intelligence kind of thing. So how is machine learning, artificial intelligence and data science is different? So these three topics can be hard to understand because there are no formal definition. Even after being a machine learning engineer for over a year, I don't have a good answer to this question because I'd be suspicious of anyone who claims they do. To avoid confusion, we'll keep it simple for this tutorial. So you can consider machine learning the process of finding patterns in the data to understand something more or to predict some kind of future event. Okay, the following steps I have a bias towards building something and seeing how it too works, learning by doing. Okay, there are six steps which is involved in the machine learning projects. Okay. Machine learning actually before that I'll show you the various things which are involved in this one. Okay, so if you are seeing this diagram, the first one you are seeing the largest space is the artificial intelligence. Okay, so artificial intelligence is nothing but we have the machine learning, data science, deep learning, big data, right? So it is a broader criteria, artificial intelligence. So within this artificial intelligence, we have machine learning engineering, we have deep learning, we have big data, we have data science. Okay, so this diagram you can able to understand what is the place we have in the machine learning world. Okay, so machine learning pipeline can be broken down into three major steps. Okay, so first one is the data collection, second one is the data modeling, and third one is the deployment. So it's all influence on one another. You may start a project by collecting data and model it. Realize that that data you collected was poor. Okay, so go back to collecting data, model it again, and finally a good model. Then you will deploy to the any APIs by using various kind of frameworks we have, right? Like Flask, Django on the Python network, or if you are using the TensorFlow kind of thing, or if you are using the scikit-learn kind of thing, you can able to create a model out of it by so you can able to create API out of the model. Okay, so it's a cycle. Okay, wait. So what does the model mean? What is the deployment? How do I collect the data? So these are the great questions you have right now. So how you collect data will depend on your problem. We will look into the examples in a minute. But one way could be your customer purchases in a spreadsheet. Okay. Modeling refers to using a machine learning algorithm to find insight within your collected data. So what are the difference between the normal algorithm and machine learning algorithm? Here you may have this kind of questions. Like a cooking recipe for your favorite chicken dish, a normal algorithm is set of an instruction, how to turn a set of ingredients into that mustard masterpiece. Okay. So what makes the machine learning algorithm different is instead of having a set of instruction, you start with the ingredient and the final dish ready to go. This machine learning algorithm then look at the ingredients and the final dish and work out the set of instructions. You are getting my point, right? You have a recipe, okay. Sorry, you need to make one final dish, and you have ingredients, but you don't know about the instruction, the recipe thing. So here the machine learning will come and tell you what are the steps you have to finalize this dish. Okay, there are many type of machine learning algorithm and some perform better than other on different platforms. But premise is remain. They all have the goal of finding patterns or set of instruction in data. Okay. So the specific of the steps will be different for each project, but the simple within remains similar. So in this tutorial, we'll focus on data modeling. Like assume you have already collected data and are looking building a machine learning proof of concept with it. So I am going to show the various steps which is involved in the machine learning projects. Okay, so first one I'm going to show some diagram. As you show before, the first one is the data collection, and second one is the data modeling, and third one is the deployment. So these three things, as you see here, these are it is an iterative progress, right? You can able after deployment, you may feel like we need some accuracy in your data in your model. Then you'll go to this data modeling and you'll start to collecting some additional data or more data. And you'll again train this model and again you will deployment. So this is the iterative process, right? So, what after this thing in the data modeling part, we have actually around six steps. So, the first one is what is the problem definition? What problem we are trying to solve? Okay, this is the first step in the data modeling. So actually, what the major business problems are we are trying to solve is comes under this part, this phase. So okay, so after this, after your problem definition, you are going to have the data. What data do we have? So if machine learning is getting insight out of data, what data we have, how much does it match the problem definition? Is our data structure or our data is unstructured or structured data? This is static data or streaming data. So these are all coming under this section, this phase. Okay. So after you are getting your data, the third step is evaluation. Okay, so this ever actually it defines the success of your machine learning model. After you getting your problem definition and what data you have, you should have this data. This model should have to be evaluated, right? So this evaluation, which is coming under this phase. So actually, it defines the success of your model, right? So after that, what are the features you are going to use? So what part of our data are we going to use for our model? How we can have, we have already know if you have influences. So this feature, the feature is nothing but if you have the three columns of data, if you we have the CSV file or a Excel spreadsheet, Within this one, you have the four columns of data. So what is the feature you are will look like? So this part is comes under the data analytics purpose phase. Okay. So after this one, you will be able to use the modeling. Okay, modeling. So which model should you use? Should you choose, and how you can improve it? How do you compare it with other models? So this kind of things are coming under this modeling. So after this, you are going to experiment. So the experimentation, which is nothing but what else could we try? So does our deployed model do as we expected? And how do other steps change based on what we have found? Okay. So if we are going to so this is also an iterative purpose as you see here. After you experiment, again you are going to see the problem definition. If it is a problem definition is can fulfilled enough, the it's or if it may not be fulfilled enough by this experiment, right? So again, we are going to collect the data, and again we are going to evaluate those models, and again we'll select the features out of it. And after this feature selection, you'll going to create a modeling, and again you are going to make an experiment so out of this model. Okay, so these are the steps we have. Fine. So, to help decide whether or not your business could use machine learning, the first step is to match the business problem you are trying to solve a machine learning problem. There are four types of machine learning, or I'm going to show the next step. So, there are four types of machine learning which are involved in the supervised learning, unsupervised learning, and transfer learning, and reinforcement learning. So, supervised learning, unsupervised learning, transfer learning, and the reinforcement learning. Okay, so these are the four types of machine learning algorithm, but the three of these most used in business applications are supervised learning, unsupervised learning, and transfer learning. So what is the supervised learning? So supervised learning is called supervised because you have a data and labels in this scenario. Okay, a machine learning algorithm tries to learn what patterns in the data leads to the label. Hmm. Then the supervised part happens during the training. If the algorithm guesses a wrong label, it tries to correct itself. For example, if you are trying to predict a heart disease in new patient, you may have anonymous medical record of 100 patients as the data, and whether or not they had heart disease as the label. Okay, so for an example, I'm saying, so these are the data you have. A machine learning algorithm could look at the model, the medical records input, and whether or not particular patients had heart disease, and then figure it out what patterns in the medical records leads to heart disease. So once you got trained algorithm, you could pass through the medical records of a new patient through it and get a prediction whether or not they have an heart disease. It's important to remember this prediction is not certain. It comes back as probability. Okay, so the algorithm says, based on what I've seen before, it's look like the new patient medical record 70% aligned to this who have heart disease. Okay, so this kind of answers you can able to get derived from this machine learning model. So while coming to the unsupervised learning, you have a data but no labels. So this is called unsupervised learning. For in this scenario, if you have a data like this, if you're doing the machine learning, then it is an unsupervised learning. If you have no labels, but you have a data, right? The data could be the you may want to group. So you may want to group some kind of patterns within this the medical data. So in this scenario, you can able to use the unsupervised learning. The third one is the transfer learning, this one. So the transfer learning is when you take the information an existing machine learning model has learned and adjust it to your own problem. Okay, training a machine learning model from scratch can be very expensive and time consuming. So the good news is if you don't have always have to when machine learning algorithm find patterns in one kind of data. So these patterns can be used in another type of data also. Let's say you are a car insurance company and wanted to build a test classification model to classify whether or not someone submitting an insurance claim for a car accident is a fault or not as a fault. So these are the data you have. So okay, so you could start with an existing text model like one which has read all of Wikipedia and has remembered all the patterns between different words, such as which word is more likely to come next after another. So then using your car insurance claims along with their outcomes. So you could tweak the existing text model to your own problem. So if machine learning can be used in your business, it's likely it fall under one of these three types of learning. Okay, so we can and also we can able to further break them into the various types like classification, regression, recommendation. So that things we'll see in the next tutorial. Okay, so until then, we'll see you in the next one. Bye.